All right, everybody, what we need you to do right now is get up out your seats, bring the energy, because it's time to start the Sisaundra Show!
Sisaundra Show. We need y'all to go ahead and get all comfy, grab your bubbly beverage, and let's get this show started. Let's get it started. Woo! Listen, are y'all ready?
Yep.
I said, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Because the news this week isn't holding back. From courtroom chaos to cultural shocks, the mess is messy and the tea is scalding. So welcome to We the People. Oh yeah. Ooh. Oh, I need to hear y'all a little louder. Let me turn that up a little bit. Listen, so y'all, it's only day 2 and it just keeps getting darker and darker and darker. So on day 2 of Diddy's federal sex trafficking trial, Cassie has taken the stand and laid it all bare. Years of abuse, humiliation, and control masked behind money and fame. She said she was forced into what he called freak-offs, drugged up sex parties with escorts, baby oil, and surveillance cameras, even when she was on her time of the month. She said that the freak-offs almost felt like a job at one point, and sometimes would last 36 to 48 hours. She stated that the marathon sessions often led her needing time to recover from dehydration, fatigue, and drug use. My goodness. So y'all, she described one sickening night. It was sickening, where Diddy and an escort put their bodily fluids on her at the same time. Now, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, y'all, and it was the golden showers. And she said about the golden showers, I was choking too much fluid in my mouth. She told the courtroom through tears she was left bloody, degraded, and trapped. And when asked why she didn't say no, she said plainly, I was high. You don't have a lot of control in that moment. Now, this wasn't a one-time thing. According to Cassie, Diddy kept souvenirs, which are videos of her worst moments. He told her what to wear, who to sleep with, and when to sleep with them. She feared the world seeing what she lived through and feared the man who made her live it. So it was almost like, what choice did she have, is basically what she's saying. Meanwhile, y'all, the defense is trying to poke holes. They questioned a male escort who testified that Diddy beat Cassie and paid him to have intercourse with her in front of him. But this is bigger than credibility. The tapes, they are real, y'all. They exist. The trauma is real. And the world is watching. Woo! Have we had enough already? Yes. We thought we wanted the trial to start, but I don't think we want this trial to go on.
Pack it up. Pack it all up.
Pack it up.
Yeah.
Take it home. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? When you look at people, and now the phrase, I don't look like what I've been through, it all the way to a whole nother level.
That's right.
They don't look like they've been through much, but the stories that are being told, my God, those are things I would never want as a person, as a mother. She's pregnant right now. What is her child gonna do when they get old enough to realize the truth that mom lived through? It's a lot.
Yeah, she's gonna have to use some of that money and pay for some good therapy.
Whoo, for the baby, right?
Anyway, let's move on to this next story. Y'all, we talked about this a little bit too yesterday. Now, y'all know Tory Lanez is in jail because
of shooting Meg the Stallion. So he just went through HE double hockey sticks behind bars and lived to talk about it. According to his team, the rapper was stabbed a horrifying 14 times in a prison yard attack that nearly killed him. I believe this was yesterday. So we're talking 7 stab wounds to his back, 4 to his chest, 2 to his head, and 1 to the face. It was so brutal that both of his lungs collapsed. He had to be put on life support just to breathe. Now, somehow he's pulled through. And I ain't gonna say somehow. I'm gonna say, but God.
Yeah.
But God, he pulled through. Now he's breathing on his own, talking, and even thanking our God and his fans for their prayers. Y'all, the motive, we don't know.
Still unclear? Okay.
It's still unclear. Nobody knows what the motive was. But one thing's for sure, he's not safe, and the system's not playing fair. So let's not forget he's already serving 10 years for the shooting of Meg the Stallion, right? Whether you believe he's guilty or not, what happened in that yard was violent and inhumane. Nobody deserves that. This is crazy.
That's about 14. Yesterday when we talked about it, I didn't have this graphic picture.
Right, we didn't know the details yesterday.
Yeah. So this is beyond like what I could ever imagine.
No, I mean, when they said he got hurt, we thought, oh, he got hurt, but stabbed 14 times?
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. Listen, y'all, there are moments in your career where you feel stuck, right? Burnt out and questioning absolutely everything. But what if those moments could lead you to your true purpose? Today's guest has lived through those tough transitions and turned them into something powerful. From corporate burnout to becoming the founder of a transformative community for women in project management, her journey is nothing short of inspiring. Y'all, please welcome to the Lavender Couch, the one and only Miss Tai Cochran. Tell you, thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, where are you visiting us from?
I am from Atlanta.
From Hotlanta?
Yes.
The ATL down.
The ATL,
welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
So what was the defining moment, Tai, for you that made you transition from corporate burnout to finding her PM?
Oh, the transitioning moment was just really hitting the glass ceiling. Like I literally felt my head hit the glass ceiling.
Oh, wow.
I knew that I was made for more. I knew that I was supposed to do more. Like even growing up, I knew I was supposed to have my own business, but I had no clue what that meant. So as I continued along my career journey and I became PMP certified, so I went and sat for that long exam. And there was no respect after that. I was like, okay, well, now's the time to step out and do something different.
Ooh, so once you got certified, you didn't see a difference in the workplace. No one gave you any kind of different respect or whatever. So you were like, you know what?
No.
It's time to go.
Yes, they were working me really hard. I was working 2 jobs and getting
goodness.
1 paycheck.
Oh, my goodness. Under one building roof.
1 building roof.
Woo, my Lord. So you created a space for women in project management to thrive.
Yes.
What is the most empowering lesson you've learned from working with women in the industry?
That's a great question. I think the biggest lesson that I have learned is that everyone's story is important, right?
Yes.
Everything about project management is about your team, and it's not about me. It's not about what I can do. It's about what the team can accomplish together. So that's my biggest lesson.
I love it because I love the phrase, there's no I in team.
Not at all.
It is about the group of people in that circle that make things work. So could you please tell us what is the statement or something you would say to the younger Tai as you were stepping out on faith, doing all of the things that you knew you were destined to do, but it took a push? What would you say to the younger you?
Oh man, I think the biggest thing that I would say to the younger Ty is to always seek knowledge, to never stop learning, to never stop being curious, and just keep going. Because whatever they say, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what they say. You know what? I think that's something we have to repeat over and over again, because we tend to let people live rent-free in our heads these days, right?
Yes, all
and
the time.
it doesn't matter what they say. There's something built on the inside of you that's directing you, and you have to follow your path, not the voices that's trying to distract you while you're on the journey.
Right.
That's so incredible.
This little light of mine.
Come on, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Did y'all hear that? Now you know we're gonna have to sing a little bit of that. Just
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You gonna sing it with me? No. Come on, y'all. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Yeah.
Oh, all in my home, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, all in my home, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. Go ahead and tie. Hey, all in my home, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Yes.
All right, to our viewers, y'all, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back. We got Miss Tai Cochran here with us. She is going to continue to talk about us and breaking that glass ceiling. We'll be right back. Hey! Ooh, yes, please, thank you. Yes, hello and welcome back to the Sisaundra Show. Y'all, I am sitting here with the one and only Tai Cochran. We haven't asked her if she's related to the late Johnny Cochran yet, but we're getting there. But right now, it's time for us to go into our segment called No Filter, the part of the show where we throw away the scripts, strip down the masks, and get into questions that most people are too afraid to ask out loud. These aren't surface level, how do I get promoted type questions. These are soul deep cries for clarity, healing, and freedom. Our viewers sent in the real questions. Burnout that feels like identity loss, dreams that no longer fit, and the pressure of leading when you're barely holding it together. And joining us to unpack all of this is someone who doesn't just talk strategy. Y'all, she's lived the shift. Are you ready to dive in, Miss
Yes,
Cochran?
let's go.
And are you related to the late Johnny Cochran?
I
Come on.
wish I could say yes.
You may be.
I may be.
Let's get into these questions. All right, so the first question is from Tanya. Tanya says, I built a career that looks successful on paper, but I feel completely disconnected from it. How do I walk away from the life I spent years building when I no longer recognize the person who built it? Miss Cochran.
All right, Tanya, that is a wonderful question. And I would say that it is okay to shift. It is okay to pivot. Don't be afraid. If you are walking away from something because you no longer feel it and you want to chase little Tanya, maybe little Tanya had a dream. It's time to figure out what that was and what that is, and then go that way.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Again.
I love that. I love that. That's a great answer. I don't know if you all have watched this movie. It's on Netflix, and it's called The List. And The List is about this woman who she passed away, but she left videos and everything for her kids to help them through their lives. And she figured out that her daughter was in the same position as Tanya. So she gave her a year of assignments and helped bring her back to the young person that she was.
Yes.
So that's so great that you said that. Y'all need to check that movie out. Let's move on to this next question. The next question is from Aaliyah. Aaliyah says, how do I hold space for others at work when I don't feel supported myself? I'm the strong one on my team, but inside, I'm drowning. Ooh,
That's good.
that's good. I mean, it ain't good, but it's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yes. Yes. Ooh.
Well, number one, you can't pour from an empty cup, Aaliyah. So that's number one. I've been there, but I think the first thing that I did was I went and found someone to talk to.
So important.
Yeah, you have to have someone who can pour into you, someone that can build you up.
Yes.
Because if you are that strong person, sometimes that's just our assignment in life, is to be that person that leads, that guides, that everyone comes to.
Yes.
But you find someone that can help you to fill your cup so that you are not literally running on empty.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. And if I can add to that, I used to hear a friend of mine say, stop giving from your cup. Let the overflow into the saucer be what you give, but
Yes.
don't take so much of what's inside of you to give away to people.
Right.
And finding someone to help you, whether it's a mentor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a spiritual advisor,
Yes.
it's so important to find someone to talk to.
And really, you might need all of them.
And you might need, I love that. It's so true, Ty. Ty said we might need all of them.
It's okay.
And that's okay too. All right, let's move on to this next question. This next question is from Gregory. Okay. I feel like I'm only valued at work when I'm overextending myself. How do I unlearn that self-worth isn't the same as being useful? Ooh.
These are great questions.
Are real good questions. Come on, Greg.
I love it. And we all have been there where we just feel like that if we don't go that extra mile, that no one is going to recognize us.
Correct.
But I think the best thing that Gregory can do to stop overextending himself or feeling like he has to overextend himself is just always, come with your A game. Like, come with what you do best and give that and leave.
And you can leave. You gotta know when to fold them.
Yes.
You got
to hold them and when to fold them.
Right?
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
I think a lot of people go through this though. They go to work, they overextend themselves, and then it's the battle between self-worth and useful.
Yeah.
And being your self-worth, it really doesn't have anything to do with being useful.
Not
They're
at all.
two different things, right? So how do you get someone to understand the difference and then know when to walk away?
Yeah, well, and I will also say to Gregory to get a life coach, to get a mentor.
Ooh, yes.
Because that person will help you to distinguish between your self-worth and being useful.
And being useful.
Because your worth comes from inside of you, and you have to figure out what that is, what your strategies are for building up that self-worth and how to like really exude that. But being useful is not the same thing as
It is not. Thank you very
self-worth.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ty. Let's move on to this next question. The next question is from Brittany. Brittany says, you talk about mindset shifts, but how do I shift anything when I feel stuck in a cycle of survival? I don't have time to meditate. I'm trying to pay bills. Ooh, now that's real.
Okay. So you make time. So yes, we are all out here on a little grind and a little hustle, right?
A little harder than...
Yeah.
Yes.
But 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes to find that time to be with God, to be with yourself is so very important. And getting out of that cycle of feeling like you are just surviving and not really thriving. Because again, it's about watering yourself.
Yes.
Because you can't grow. I mean, I feel like we're all like flowers and plants and things like that. And if you don't give yourself that time and that energy and pour back into yourself, then you will always be stuck in a cycle.
It's so true. And I'm also about speaking positivity over your life. You know what I'm saying? Don't claim the negativity. Say that I have time. Say that I got money to pay my bills. Speak that thing into existence and make it real, opposed to embracing the negativity of what's going on as soon as you wake up. Let's move on to this next question. This next question is from Serena. Serena says, my job looks good on LinkedIn, but it's killing my spirit. How do I know when it's time to walk away, and how do I leave without losing my identity?
You'll never lose your identity by walking away from something that's not good for you.
Can you say that again?
You'll never lose your identity by walking away from something that's
You
not
can
good
never lose your identity by walking away from something. I love that.
Yeah, not
And I
at
think
all.
that's enough to be said. You cannot lose your identity.
If nothing else, you'll find yourself.
You go, ooh.
You'll
I
find
like
yourself.
that answer.
I don't need to say nothing else. Let's move on. And this next question is from Veronica. Veronica says, I want to build something like her PM, but how do you lead other women when you're still healing from your own career trauma? Ooh, how do you do that, Ty?
That's the best time to do it.
Ooh.
That's the best time to heal yourself, because again, that's why I built Her PM, and that's when I built Her PM, when I was at my lowest, and I was feeling lost, and I didn't understand what my purpose was in life. Her PM helped me to define that purpose, and it helped me to, I would say God helped me to make those crooked paths straight.
Yes.
But again, it was all about embracing everything that I've gone through and putting it into the company.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And stepping out on faith ain't never easy, and entrepreneurship is scary, but you gotta do it scared.
Yes.
Do it anyhow.
Do it anyway.
And it's rewarding.
It is.
Because it gives you something to work on while you're feeling down. It gives you something to show yourself, oh my God,
Yes.
I'm pulling myself up.
Yes.
Look what I'm building.
Right.
And then one day you wake up and it's like, oh my God,
Yep.
we did it. By
Yep.
the grace of God, we made it.
Exactly.
And Her PM is all over Forbes magazine. Come on now.
Yes, we're claiming that.
In the name of Jesus. All right, let's move on to this next question. This next question is from Kyra. Kyra says, I was raised to believe that rest is laziness and productivity is worth. How do I undo that conditioning while still being ambitious? It sounds like Kyra and I was born in the same house. Can you please help us with this question, Ty?
Kyra, self-care is not selfish at all. So being, taking a rest sometimes you have to. So again, it goes back to everything that we've just talked about before, watering yourself, taking care of yourself, pouring into yourself. It is not being lazy. And it does not mean that you are not ambitious, and it does not mean that you cannot continue to grow. You have to take some time off and let your mind rest. What's the song? Relax your mind, let your conscience be free. Yeah, I think it's Jay-Z.
Free your mind.
Yes.
And your what?
Rest will follow.
Hey, I love that. Indeed, indeed. So it is not lazy. I had a father who, when he walked in the room, if he's been out working all day and he walk in the room and see you sitting down, oh no. It was just, we had to always be doing something. So we would always find busy work to do because we'd hear his truck pull up.
Yeah.
It's like, Daddy's home. Y'all better get up. And everybody's running and moving. And my brother called me a few years ago and he said, sis, we've been working our whole lives. You need to take a break.
Yes.
You need to appreciate what a break feels like.
That's right.
And it helped change my life. It's like I needed permission from somebody in my family to not be looking at me like I'm lazy because we work all the time.
Work all the time.
But there is rest needed to be able to continue
That's
the
right.
work that God has given
Be
us.
your best self.
Yes,
Yep.
Ty, thank you so much. It has been
Thank you.
amazing sitting here chatting with you. To our viewers, God bless you. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We're going to be right back here tomorrow at 7. Don't miss it. For the culture.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey.
Come on, come on, come on. Now everybody just scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen. Because we out of here for the Sisaundra